Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Taylor Nance podcast. And I have a wonderful special guest for you guys today. And I want to tell you a little bit about how I know her, which is super cool. Our daughters are friends at school. And when I went to pick her up at Olivia's birthday party, I noticed in their backyard they had a cold plunge and a sauna. And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I want in my house. And not many people kind of know about how cool they are and all the health benefits. And right then and there, I knew we would be friends. And then I started my podcast and saw her on another podcast through the studio. And I reached out and I said, you've got to come on my podcast because she's kind of a big deal, guys. So this is Anniston. And will you tell us a little bit about you and your story and your company and all of that?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me
You're
on
welcome.
here. I was so excited.
I'm honored.
And I agree. I think when you meet people that it's like all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. They're into what I'm into.
Yeah, I know.
And
no one even, yeah, I know.
And no one is into what we
I
know.
know. I'm like, I do an ice bath every morning. I'm like, I'm obsessed with all these,
Right.
all health and wellness
Right.
things.
And I think being a trailblazer in the space
Mhm.
that it's normal to find that.
Yeah.
And to be the first to like what you normalize is weird at first.
Oh, my kids think it's weird, but not anymore.
Right. Until it's not weird
Yeah.
anymore. Until enough people are like, oh, I understand why
Yeah.
you're doing this. I
Yes.
understand. And it's about well-being. And I think it really speaks into what I value,
Mhm.
right? Which is I 100% value well-being. I value investing in spirituality,
Yes,
investing in
yes.
your own growth.
Mhm.
And I believe, and I have believed for a long time, ever since I guess probably my early 20s when I started
Mhm.
down this path. Lucky for me, it started a little earlier.
Yes, definitely.
Where I just started questioning things in life. I wasn't taking everything at face value.
Mhm.
There was always this, I'm a very Aquarius person.
Mhm.
If you know astrology, like
I do. I love astrology.
I'm an Aquarius moon. So
Okay.
I was that little girl that was always asking, but why?
Yeah, but why? Me
Like,
too.
I don't understand. That doesn't make sense. And then you ask it enough times and you realize, well, it's just because it's always been that way.
Exactly.
And so I started questioning a lot in terms of, but why do we have to work a 9 to 5?
Yes.
And why do we only get 2 weeks?
And why do we have to get married?
And why do we have to do this? And so I really dug in, but what I was most interested in learning about at first was myself.
Yeah.
Because I felt so lost. Like I didn't actually know who I was.
Mhm.
I felt like I had become the consummate people pleaser and the
Mhm.
mask wearer, middle child. That's
Mhm.
very common with
Okay.
middle children, right? You become the peacemaker. You're the one, you're not the dramatic one. You're not the one that takes a lot of attention.
Mhm.
So you start to figure out life on your own,
Mhm.
not wanting to take up a lot of space.
Gotcha.
And that really, I think, was the theme for a lot of my
Mhm.
growing up. And then what informed me going on this journey of figuring out like what I loved and who I
Mhm.
wanted to be. And I wound up leaving a job that I had gotten in my early 20s to go work in the cruise industry.
Oh, cool.
Because
Okay.
I just, again, I was like, well,
Mhm.
why do I need to work in a
Mhm.
cubicle? This doesn't
Yeah.
feel right to me, even though I had worked so hard for that job. But there was something in my heart that was saying, this is not meant for you.
Mhm.
Like you're meant for something
Yeah,
different.
I love that you followed that.
And I did. And it was
Yeah.
one of the first really big proverbial leaps I've
Mhm.
taken off of a ledge
Mhm.
with no idea what the hell
Yeah.
that was going to work out. And I have taken since many.
And do you find those leaps, or I find those leaps, and I don't know if you do, so exciting, but you're so nervous of the unknown.
Petrified.
But it's always worth it.
Always.
Yeah.
It always leads to I always feel like there's reward on the other side
There
of
is.
that. And the reward comes in this inner sense of freedom
Yeah.
and power when you realize, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, so if I just follow my heart,
Exactly.
even if it makes especially if it makes no
Yeah.
sense. And I know that on the other side of that is going to be this expanded life,
Yes.
something better.
Yes.
And I think that we all, if you're really honest with yourself and you look, I think at any given point, there's always a ledge you're being drawn to.
Yes. I've been over many.
The question is, are you avoiding it
Mhm.
or are you leaning into
Yeah.
it?
You've got to lean in.
You got to lean in.
Yeah.
So
Brene Brown.
Brene Brown,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm obsessed with her, as Jamie knows, who my favorite person to have on. But now I think it might be you. And the Clean Eats girl. But you guys really, and not to cut you off, sorry, you
No, it's
really
fine.
empower everything that I believe in so strongly.
I love that.
Yeah, I just love, I mean, I've been down a similar journey and moved to New York. My parents were like, what? You're doing what? I was like, yeah, I'm following my dreams, guys. I am going to go to New York. I'm going to work on Wall Street. And, 10 years later, I own my own company.
Yeah.
And, I took a leap of faith coming back to North Carolina. And this is a leap of faith, and I'm loving it. I'm loving being back at work. I haven't worked for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Just due to, I have a child with, we don't have to get into this, but a child with dyslexia and a divorce, which we're going to cut all that part.
Yeah.
But but I just, everything watching your podcast, I just love, you speak to me. Like when you're talking, I feel like you're talking directly to me.
Well, I feel like your story does the same.
Oh, thank you.
Because I feel like we need more women, especially now in this time. You know, I won't get on my soapbox.
I want you to. I won't
get on my soapbox.
I want you to.
But I believe that we are in incredible times to be alive. And I believe right now there is a rebalancing and more women. We need more powerful feminine energy.
Yes, we do.
In power.
Yes.
We need more kids. We need more female billionaires.
Yes,
who
we do.
Can become financiers for other women who have ideas and ways to change the world. And I think that we need to demonstrate what it looks like to disrupt, to live outside of the lines. Of what we've been told, the roles that we believed, maybe just through conditioning, through watching how our parents did it, and to start asking the question, but why?
But why? Yeah.
But why? And that but why had led me into like really opening up to spiritually.
Yeah.
And understanding that like we get to expand our lens of what we believe to be possible for us.
Which is anything in the whole world.
And when you do that, you're essentially expanding your beliefs and then you expand your world. Because ultimately what I discovered throughout all of my studies in my 20s and in my early 30s as it related to neuroscience and personal development was that a function of the brain is to only allow you to see in your world and experience what you believe.
Oh, 100%.
And so I was like, wait a minute. So if that's the case, then if I spend time investing in expanding my belief system, I'm going to actually live a more expanded life.
Yes.
And that has been my experience.
Tell me about some of your favorite books that got you to that place.
Oh gosh. Okay. So one of my early teachers was Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever read anything from him.
I haven't, but I will.
He passed many years ago, but I remember distinctly it was in my early 20s and I was flipping for the TV. And this is back before we had streaming and we actually just had, cable. And I saw a man on a stage and it was on PBS. I don't know if you remember that network. But
yes, of course. I think they just shut down.
I was going to say, I don't even know if they're still around.
They went bankrupt. Yeah.
And
just summer.
He was talking about manifestation and he was talking about energy and he was talking about all these things that I had heard like as like lingo. I just I didn't have any concept to understand. And I could not take my eyes off of it. It was like when you get that pull, where you're
just changes like your whole, everything.
It's like it changed me.
Me too.
I read every single book he published. I listened to every audio, and then I started getting into like I was curious about the spiritual world, and so I started reading about like people that had passed, like and people that were mediums that were teaching from what they had learned from those that had passed, and then angels and spirit. I mean, I like went down all the rabbit
I love
holes.
it. Did you go down the yoga rabbit
hole?
Oh,
went down yoga, Kundalini yoga.
All of
it. Tried all those kinds.
The one
of
that starts with an A, which I can't pronounce, but it's
Ashtanga or
yes.
I know what you're talking about.
My friend just opened a studio at the beach, Kim Stevens, and she kind of branched off from bee yoga, which I'm obsessed with, and I go every day, and it's changed my life, honestly. Okay. But so she's doing that one that I can't pronounce.
Yeah. No, yoga for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is
because I think
really gotten me to slow down, which is hard.
It is, you have to address it on all angles. And here's what's really interesting is that for me, because I'm so mental, it was a lot easier for me to grow like my intellectually and even to, I would say, grow emotionally.
Oh yeah.
What has been my most recent breakthrough is actually physically. Okay. Because what I've realized was that I didn't understand the true body's role in what we're doing here. Like I kind of treated it as, I'm going to do this despite my body, despite being tired. I'm just going to pull her along, right? And what I didn't understand was that our bodies are constantly communicating with us, and that it is actually, when we talk about spiritual growth and evolution, we think of it as even words like ascension. You actually think about it as like you're ascending beyond your body, which in actuality, ascension is descension. Okay. It's coming back into being fully embodied here. It's where spirit merges with the human body. And I think that that for me was the journey that I now teach is what has really informed what I'm teaching, was just helping women, number one, balance the feminine and masculine. Because we are if you're a high achiever, I'm a high achiever. I know you're a high achiever. we have learned to survive by overcompensating in masculine energy.
Yes.
We hustle. We make it happen.
Yeah, we make it happen.
We juggle 8 million balls.
And we're moms. Like,
and we're moms.
Which is a full-time job.
So our needs, when our body is like,
blast, always.
I'm tired.
But we have to.
I need a rest. We're like, yeah, okay, you can rest later.
Yeah.
You rest when you sleep, which rest and sleep, 2 different things.
Yes, totally.
And it's like we don't realize the damage we are doing to this relationship, which with our greatest superpower.
Exactly, with ourselves.
With our
we have
greatest
to fill our cups
tool.
First, otherwise we're not good for anybody.
We won't be good for anyone. And you can only give what you have within you. And even like I know some women who are prolific teachers and incredible coaches. Mm-hmm. But when you pull back the curtain, they're burnout. Mm-hmm. They are they're burnout. They're exhausted. They teeter between depressed and the emotions are all over the place.
Yeah, they're so high and then they crash.
Right, but then their answer to that is to keep doing more, and then eventually they get to the point where they're like, I'm done, and they want to blow it all up.
So what would you teach them?
So
what would you say?
Essentially, the first step is you got to come back to you. Like you've got to make peace with stillness. Yeah. Stillness.
That's where yoga comes in.
Right.
For me.
And that, I think for a lot of people, yoga is a gateway to that.
I mean, it has been a game changer.
Because at first people might be like,
I'm like all over the place.
I just want to have a yoga body, right?
No, it's not about
yoga.
Yoga
was never it was actually never intended to be, oh, this is exercise. Yeah. Like to maintain weight or to look a certain way. No, it's actually an ancient technology. Yep. In different poses that allows
being still, which
was
so hard for me at first.
I had a major I when I left corporate America and I was a senior level executive at a company. I had just published a book. I had a lot.
Were you in New York or were you here?
No, the company I worked for was out in New York, but I was working remotely. I did not realize that I had such a fear. My nervous system did not feel safe being still. And it wasn't until all of that went away and I decided, okay, I'm going to take a bit of a pause before I run into this next venture and really launch into my own business more fully. And it was in that pause that I started having panic attacks.
Really?
I started having my nervous system was freaking out. And I did not understand why until I realized, oh, wait a minute. I've been busy learning. I've been busy learning all of this knowledge, but I haven't fully embodied it yet. I haven't fully integrated it yet. And I need to take the time to heal that. And that can only come from just in those moments when you start you're panicking, you're saying, I need to get up and do this to-do list, or if I stop moving and stop working, everything's going to fall apart. But is it?
No,
that's
really.
when I start, but why?
But why?
Why? And so I would sit with that and I would ask it questions, and I started actually really taking how I was feeling. If I woke up feeling with anxiety, which I did, by the way, for years, didn't even realize it until I left my job. And then I had no reason to feel anxious. And I was like, but why do I still feel anxious? And I realized our bodies are habitual. They learn how to habitually respond. Okay. So I had a habitual learned response that when I woke up in the morning, it was time to be anxious because now I was in doing mode. I was in productive mode. So I had to slow down my mornings, slow before I would even get out of bed. I would lay there and I'd put one hand on my lower belly, one hand on my heart. And I would just be like, you are safe. Yeah. You are safe.
Love that.
You are safe. And I would not get up until that feeling dissipated. And then sometimes I would have to do it for minutes, I mean, long. But eventually I would wake up and realize I don't have that feeling anymore.
Oh, that's great.
So you can change it.
Yeah, of course you can.
But we think, oh, let me go directly to I need to medicate it. Which, listen, I don't believe there is anything wrong with bridging that. But the medication is not going to fix the root issue.
I agree with you.
And so you got to tackle it on both angles. You got to have, I think for a lot of people that is a blessing and such a help. Yes. Just to help regulate them. But that can't be your only strategy.
No, and most people that don't have major problems don't want to be on anxiety medicine their whole life. I am actually off of it due to peptides and amino acids and all that stuff. I don't take any of it anymore. Yeah. Yeah, which has changed my life. Yeah.
Totally. I mean, so there is a road out of it, and I think that we start
but also through therapy too.
Right. Yeah. But we start to identify with it. We start to think, oh, this is just who I am.
No. And mine's always been situational.
Or, oh, my parents suffered from severe anxiety, so I do too. It's genetic. It's actually not.
It's not at all.
At all.
Yeah. And my parents they don't even have anxiety. I blamed it on my ex-husband though.
Right. So you can take accountability.
Yeah.
If you're willing to take accountability.
I mean, my doctor was like, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm able to now like do my breathing, do my I have like steps that I've learned. I have 20 things that I do to calm down instead of having a panic attack.
Yeah. And so that's what I teach now. I teach women. I tend to work with a lot of women who are purpose driven. They, similar to us, like they have a dream. They have this desire to serve, but they feel very disconnected to the old way of doing. Like they're starting to wake up to like, this doesn't feel right. I don't feel like I should have to hustle and chase and burn myself out in return for me fulfilling my mission.
Yes.
Like those two, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And so they're ready to learn a new way. And so I take them through a process of really, it's really an unlearning and it's a deconditioning.
Yes, it is.
Because when it's not about becoming someone new. It's actually about returning to who you are authentically. And in doing that, you find that there is this deep natural reservoir of peace, of fulfillment, of wholeness that cannot be found from anything outside of you.
I totally agree with you.
And so that's the journey I take them on.
That's amazing. So my journey, very similar to yours, was through my mentor. His name is Tom Shagru, and he's got to come on here. And I'm actually speaking to him after this. But at age 12 or 13, he became my mentor, and he taught me to slow down everything that you just said from a very young age, and about yoga and all about manifesting and all about not turning into my mother. And I love my mother. Don't get me wrong, but stop worrying about things. Like it's all going to work out. And, you know, fast forward, 35 years later, you know, he's still one of my favorite people in the entire world. Also still my mentor. Yeah. And he helped me get to Wall Street. Then I came back and worked under his company for a long time. And he changed my life, actually. He was that person that you had. That was it for me. I read The Four Agreements. It was one of the first books he had me read over and over. And I read it all the time.
Yeah.
And all those books. But he taught me yoga and breathing and slow down. Yeah. Slow the brain down. Like it doesn't have to be this way, Taylor. It's up to you. It's your story.
Yeah.
And that's how this came about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I love what you're doing.
Thank you. I want to empower all women. I want to have them all on here and promote businesses all around the world. Yeah. You know, especially in Wilmington, but we probably have clients everywhere. I don't know.
I do actually. Yeah. I interestingly enough, most of my clients are from all around. Like internationally, I have clients from every state. And most of the work I do is virtual, but I do host some live events and some, you know, programs.
And your retreat, tell us about that in a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, tell us all about it. Tell us all about it.
It's interesting because I've hosted retreats within business before, like for leadership conferences. And every time I would be charged with doing this, it's like, I couldn't help, but I would always infuse all my spiritual stuff into it. Right. And so people would wind up leaving so changed. And and that's really where I started to learn that experience is our greatest teacher.
Yes.
And we have to put ourselves into a state of feeling something in order to change it. And so when one of my superpowers is creating a journey, and I'll sit and I'll just open my mind and I'll be like, okay, this is the goal. This is how I want her to feel when she leaves here. This is what I want her to be able to do. And then from there, I allow inspiration to really guide that. And like, okay, if I could help her to feel this, what could help her to feel this kind of experience? And then this will help her break through here. And so I literally reverse engineer the transformation into the journey. And this is why, and I have been to countless retreats, to countless conferences, workshops. And so I know what changes you and I know what doesn't. Okay. And so one of the things that when I decided, so I started having this inspiration, like I really want to host a retreat this year. Then I get a call from Yvonne, who is the co-founder of Clean Eats, who
with red hair,
which I can't beautiful red hair.
I can't wait to meet her. I love her energy. Oh my gosh.
And we, you know, Rudy, my husband and Rudy and I got to know Don and Yvonne this, like I guess last year. And then we just have so much in common. And I think just also being mission driven couples, it's interesting to get together. We expand each other. And so Yvonne reached out to me and she's like, they have this beautiful property, V&P Farms.
It's at the farm. I didn't realize it was there.
It's there.
Oh my gosh, how cool.
They have completely renovated this beautiful, they've like bouged it out. This beautiful
farmhouse. I've heard it's amazing.
Oh, it's incredible. And it's like this Southern bouge style, which I love. And there's all these really cool places. So they invited us out to the farm. And when we were out there, I said to her, was like, because I'm always looking through the lens of like transformational spaces. I was like, you realize this could be an incredible location for a retreat. I was like, because I could see, at the fire, we could do this and we could do this and this. And she said, I've always wanted this space to be a place of transformation.
Look at that. Yeah.
And so we decided, we're like, why don't we co-host a retreat this fall? It's called the Rooted Woman Retreat. It's right. And I follow the lunar cycles.
Me too. Oh my gosh. Is it on a moon?
It's right on a super moon. So it's one of the most powerful.
I should have actually realized that because I do follow it so closely.
It's powerful. It's one of the most powerful supermoons of the year.
Yes.
In November. And it's
the harvest moon, right?
Yeah. And it is going, so we've planned out this journey. I very specifically and intentionally don't share a lot about it because one of the things I've also learned in neuroscience is in the art of transformation, when you are anticipating something, when you are expecting something, the mind will already start building judgment values on can this work for me? Can this? But when you are in a state of the unknown, it's only in the unknown that change happens.
Where growth happens.
So if you go to the landing page for people are like, so can you give us more information?
I don't need
exactly what's going to happen.
I hope it's not full.
It's not full. We have some spaces. And I'm like, no, I can't tell you that because I love you enough not to.
Exactly. Because it'll be better for them.
It's like, all I can tell you is this is the transformation. This is what you stand to gain if you show up with an open mind and an open heart and you go all in. And another one of my superpowers is creating a safe space. And I've started telling this. People would tell me this in my 20s when I was working with sales teams and I was working in business, and they would say, I always feel so safe with you.
I noticed it when I went to your house. I felt it immediately when I walked in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think I said it to Hunter Grace, actually. I very much felt that whole vibe.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the things that for me, it happens naturally, but what I've realized is in order to transform, you have to feel safe.
You have
to feel like, okay, it's safe for me to let my guard down. It is safe for me to say absolutely anything. Like there is nothing you could say to me that would make me be like, oh my God. Because I understand.
Or trigger you.
No. This is the space. And so my goal is that the women who are called, like who feel the call, who are like, I know I need this. It is time for me to really truly remember who I am, that they show up and they show up knowing that they are worthy of this. Yes. And that's the biggest story that a lot of women.
I'm so excited for this.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And this is your first one.
This is my first one in Wilmington.
What are the dates?
I'm sorry?
November 6th?
November 6th through the 9th. Okay. And so it's about 30 minutes outside of Wilmington. We have women that are flying in from other places. Yeah. I know we have some local women who are coming as well. But that was the thing. I realized, I was like, I want more Wilmington women to know about this. And most of my client base is everywhere. And so when you reached out and you were like, hey, would you be I was like, absolutely, Taylor.
I mean, like, this is like perfect. I mean, like, there's so many women, a few women that I know that would just be so on top of this, but mostly my yoga friends. Yeah. Like would be really interested in coming to this.
Well, and I also believe that we are in this time where your people are your power. Yeah. And it is going to be so important. And when I mean so important, I mean like more than anything, who you have in your circle needs to be a reflection of you and where you're going. Yeah. Because if the people that you spend the most time with are reflective of an old identity, of someone that you are wanting to pull up the anchor on. You will not be able to pull up that anchor.
You got to get rid of them.
It doesn't mean, and it doesn't mean
you don't have to be rude about it. Just walk it away.
It just means it means being your biggest advocate for yourself and for your life, and realizing that the people that if you're spending around a time with people that are constantly in the victim mentality,
oh my God,
life is happening to me.
And then you start feeling the same way.
And spending time blaming, complaining, gossiping, all of those things.
And not working half the time.
That is all impacting your energy.
I completely agree.
Science even shows just spending time in a room of people who are living a more expanded life in a more positive aspect, or who have bigger dreams than you, it actually impacts your physiology. Yeah. You physically
are literally
changing.
Why I asked you to come on the show.
I mean, it's crazy. And so this year, I have really intentionally, like, my circle has grown, but that circle they are women who are not messing around.
Yeah. I mean, and I didn't even know there were women in Wilmington like you. That's why when I saw the podcast, I was like, oh my God, am I in New York? Well, like, I just haven't met these people yet.
And that's why I said,
pretty much just like kind of like I'm starting with a clean slate. I'm like, no offense to my we're gonna cut
I was
this
like,
part.
we
My
need
old friends,
together. We need to. So that is
we've got to like stick together and root for each other.
That is my other intention for this and one of the reasons why I very intentionally was like, Yvonne, I want to do this in Wilmington.
Yeah.
Because I think also virtually is one thing, but when you can get into a room, like women activate each other.
They do.
And this is what I find so fascinating. And I literally have spent the last 2 weeks going from retreat to event to retreat. Like I've been around women.
You were somewhere last week, right?
All over the place. I was in Florida, and before that I was in Colorado, and then I was in Moab, and then I was in Atlanta. And what I have, like, it's just reinforced more and more that every time I get into a room full of women, something within me act like, oh, I remember who I am more.
Yeah.
I actually think we do that for each other, but only in the right room.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree.
You have to ask yourself, are you being reflected back qualities that you want to expand? Because if you say, for instance, Taylor, if you're like, I love how peaceful you are, Anniston, that peace that you're noticing in me is in you.
Yeah.
And by you noticing it in me, that is your sign. Wow, that's a quality in me that I have. So if I spend more time with Anniston, like the natural byproduct of that is I will become more peaceful.
I said this to Jamie. Yeah.
And so I love that you are a risk taker. I love that you think big, right?
I do.
So
I have big dreams. I'm going places.
By spending time with you, and you're energetic and you're lively and you bring energy where you go.
Thank you.
So that's what
everyone's always told me this, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but harness that energy into
your own horn.
Into something that I love and a whole new arena. Like, go for it.
We have to, as women, and I love that you just said I don't want to toot my own horn, because here's the thing, Taylor. We have to start.
Yeah, like, you're right. Otherwise, no one's going to know, and no one's going to know how to buy my products or join my team. Or
if you can't articulate what your superpower is, sister, we need to start.
Yeah, well, mine's ADHD, first of all.
But the more that you say it out loud, the more that you claim
I'm a connector.
You are a connector.
Yes, 100%.
You are an energizer. I'm getting chill bumps all over the place. The more that you claim it and say it out loud, you are amplifying it. You're making it more powerful. When you hide, what is your gift? And you're not even courageous enough to say it out loud because you have a story that this is going to make me arrogant or people are going to think I'm full of myself. That's a false story.
Yeah, you're right. And who cares? I mean, I've already been successful in New York and in fashion. Right. I've already, this is who I am. I've been like this my whole life ever since I met Tom Shrew.
Yeah.
He was like, he called me like a lion, or he had just these great sayings about me that would just, I remember, and it just gets me going. But it's been held back because I've been a stay-at-home mom for a little while, and now my kids they've been here at the studio. Parker's so proud of me. So is Hunter Grace, which I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. Yeah, just to be independent again, which I've always normally been. So.
Well, I think, and it's one of the first things I do with my clients is once we discover, I'm also a master numerologist, so that's a whole other thing.
I know, I don't even know what that means, really.
So numerology is basically the study of the vibration and the energetic equivalent of numbers.
Yes.
Numerology was like the OG self-help method.
Cool.
Numerology and astrology together.
Okay.
It was created by Pythagoras, who was basically the creator of math.
Yeah.
And I love math. He determined, wait, there's a vibrational equivalent to this. So the universe we live in doesn't speak in language. We are the only beings who actually have the capacity to have a voice box, right? To speak it out loud. Okay. But it speaks in symbols and in numbers.
Yes. So what are numbers?
So for instance, and a lot of people will relate to this. I feel like numerology kind of finds you when you're ready and when your awareness has grown to a point. Do you see repeating numbers sometimes?
Yes.
Okay. That's always a message. It's a message direct from your soul.
Yes.
It's trying to, all of a sudden, in the moment when you see it, do you notice that all of a sudden you're present?
Yeah.
So whatever
I see
you were
yoga
doing
all the time,
whatever you were doing, whatever you were thinking in that moment, all of a sudden you're not future casting, you're not in the past, you're right in the moment. And I teach, what do those messages mean? And then I also, you can find out your life path and a life based on your birth date, like the day that you are born.
November 22nd.
That's a master number day.
Yes.
The 22 is a master number.
I do know that, actually.
Which is the master builder, is the visionary. And those that come in on that day, I'll automatically know, okay, you got a big mission here.
That's amazing.
And so then you can look at your overall life path. You can look at your destiny number. I took it because I don't know how to do, like, I don't dip my toe in anything I cannonball.
Me too.
Anything that I am
anything that I'm passionate about, I am down that tunnel.
Drawn
and you
to.
Can't get me out of it.
No. And so I discovered in my early 30s this really rare, not many people are certified in it, but it's a rare form of numerology, but it's actually based on the sounds in your birth name.
Wow.
So letters also have a numerical equivalent.
And so you have a degree in this? Or
I'm a master. I've mastered it. Like
Oh my
I am a
gosh.
master level facilitator of. It's
that
called,
is so. Will you tell us what it's called?
It's called soul contract numerology,
Okay.
and essentially, and if you go back into Kabbalah, mysticism, and early Christian, like it was very common if someone it was very common that if someone was had hit a point in their life where they're having a lot of issues or a lot of problems, they would actually give them a new name. And the reason is your name actually is the sound of your name. Can you imagine, like, when we speak our names out loud, it's like an energetic beacon that's calling in our blueprint. It's calling in what we came here to do and what we came here to learn, the relationships and everything. And so there's by me interpreting your name, I actually translate it into ancient Hebrew. It's then translated into numbers, and I'm able to then be able to interpret a overall soul blueprint for someone. So that's something else I do. I do
That's
with
amazing.
With my clients.
Do you do that with your clients?
I do. I offer soul blueprint sessions on their own. But I always, that's where I start with my clients, because we're able to very quickly pull back and we can speed through weeks of trying to unearth what's your greatest, like, what are the patterns and lessons that you came here to learn? What are your gifts? What ultimately are you here to do? And that becomes the starting point of where we start. And then we start doing the work. Does that make any sense?
That makes total sense.
So
yeah, well, I'm going to have to sign up.
Clearly
I'm coming in as soon as you can get me in. Will you tell everyone where they can find you?
Yes. Okay. Yes. So AnnistonReikstins.com. I know no one can ever spell my last name, so you'll put it in the show notes.
Or you can just look it up on Apple, guys. Yeah. She has her own podcast on Apple and Spotify.
I love, my podcast is the Anniston Reikstins Show. And that's on Apple and Spotify. And I love to mostly hang out on Instagram is where I am.
I've been following
Anniston Blair Reikstins. And but I would love to have anyone there. And then the Rooted Woman Retreat is happening in November.
Which is soon. So sign up, guys.
And
how do they find that? Just look it up on Instagram?
I can send you the link to put in the show notes for it. You can put it on you can put it, go on Instagram, go to my link in my bio, and it's right there.
Yes, I found it. But I just want to make sure everyone else can find it.
But registration is still open.
Yes, but there's not many spots left.
Not many spots left. So I would highly suggest if you feel the pull, like there's something for you here.
I mean, I feel the pull. I just have to make sure I don't have my kids that weekend, or just switch with my
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I think we have to get off, but thank you so much for everything. I can't wait to go on this journey with you. I can't wait to support you and learn more about you.
Same.
And, really excited.
Same.
I could cry, actually.
Thank you so much, Taylor.
Thank you so much. I am going to cry. Can you cut the cameras? All right, Jamie, you can cut because I am tearing up.